All right, y'all. Hi, everybody. My name is Nevka Wiljevic of One Deal Away, and I'm beyond excited to be here and explain stuff to you. Now, we started these little bit of video series, if you would, where I talk to you about how you can actually benefit from real estate, even right now in 2020, in May of 2020, when everything seems so desperate and everybody's predicting that everything is going down, including me. But I am teaching you actual processes of what you can do to be able to still acquire properties well below the market. So regardless if the market drops 50, 60, 70%, you are still doing just fine because the money that you have pledged in is going to benefit you. In the last video, we talked a little bit about loans and how when lending opens up, how you can benefit hugely and turn a simple investment of $1,000, $3,000, $10,000, whatever dollars into a real estate empire. That's kind of the big picture that we talked about. And we finished the video with me promising to explain to you if, say, in 2023, I have a property that is valued at $50,000, I'm able to sell it at $50,000, and, I have a loan of $25,000 that has to go to the bank, and I have $25,000 that if I was to sell regularly, I would have to pay some hefty taxes on that particular puppy. However, I also promised that I was going to teach you how to actually get that money without paying a dime in taxes, and that is exactly what we're going to do in this particular video. So I hope you're excited. Grab some popcorn, grab a drink, whatever your favorite is. I'm not judging, and make sure you tune in. All right, y'all, I am beyond excited to share this with you, and I promise that the way to do this stuff is to be able to participate is what is known as 1031 exchange. That's right. Now, what is 1031 exchange? Okay, 1031 exchange. Okay. 1031 exchange basically comes from IRS code that basically starts with 1031. I know, very creative, I agree. So it basically is a code that says that I'm able to exchange one type of property for another similar, like kind, as they call it, type of property without having to pay taxes. Now, there are some rules that have to be followed, and what I do recommend that you do, especially if you're a newbie, is that you reach out to 1031 exchange professionals. Typically, they're a third-party company that will help you with these exchanges. This is kind of how the whole thing works. Let's say that this is you and I, okay? And we have this particular little property that we want to sell. Now, when we just regularly sell it to, say, Mary, okay? Mary gets a property, we get cash. Problem is that part of this cash goes to Uncle Sam. That's right. Y'all got it. That's right. You got to pay part of it in taxes. But there is a special code within the IRS. This is in the United States, y'all, but I think vast majority of countries have something similar. So I encourage you to reach out to some of the property attorneys, entity attorneys, accountants, and that kind of stuff in your own particular country to understand how that works for you specifically, wherever you're located. But for the United States, this is how it works. And I still recommend that you do reach out to attorneys, 1031 exchanges, and your accountants to help you structure this stuff before you sell anything. Well, when I say anything, I'm mostly talking about properties. Okay, so let's talk about it. So I have this property, I want to sell it out to Mary, which is totally cool, but in order for me to avoid paying Uncle Sam, because not that I have anything against him, don't get me wrong, I just want to be able to keep all of my money for myself and pay less taxes, because less taxes that I pay, that means more money I have to put into good use to build businesses, to invest, to provide homes, to be able to create jobs, and to help as many people out there as humanly possible. That's the reason why I like to do any of those and all of those things. So there's a thing that says I can do this stuff. Instead of money actually going to me, what will end up happening is that when Mary decides to do this stuff, it will go to a business that focuses on 1031 exchanges, right? It's a sort of like a third party that holds on to all of the money. Now I, in the meantime, end up going out and looking, that's the I, that's right, for another property. And maybe this is a duplex, y'all. Okay? So there we go. So maybe this is a duplex. I go from a single family home to a duplex. It doesn't have to go that way, but there are certain rules, right? Like you have a certain number of days that you have to go and find the property and get under a contract. You have to have a certain price that you have to pay. Maybe it's two different properties. The overall goal is to be able to do this stuff is that the property, the next property that you look to get has to be higher in price. That's basically what the overall goal is, because it's meant to sort of want to reward people like you and I to go out and keep creating more homes, more properties, be able to build more things so that we can help more people. Simple, simple. Create more jobs, provide housing for more people. That's what the government wants. That's why the process exists, and that's why it's put into the tax code, because they want to reward us for doing the hard work. That's kind of how it all works. Okay, so now I go out and I find this property and say that this was the property that was $50,000, right? Maybe this property is $100,000. Is it higher in price? Absolutely. Okay, so Mary goes in, she buys this house, she's super happy. The money over here, the proceeds of it go over here. Now, I also owed some money, like I have explained in this example over here. So it's $25,000. That goes to the bank. $25,000 goes over to the third party. Now, the third party will make a little bit of money. They will collect some cash. So let's say that they charge me $1,000 for their service. They can do that because they're providing the service, and without them, I wouldn't be able to pull any of this stuff off. Cool? Awesome. All right. So now I have $24,000, okay, that I'm able to then put into this property. Now, the math over here, you're like, this doesn't make sense, Nev. What do I do with the rest of the money? How does this all work? Well, remember, there's a whole thing called lenders. Hello. There's a thing called bank, all right, or another non-bank version of a company that will provide you with a mortgage. And they say, you know what? You put down 20%, Nev, okay, and we will finance 80%. All right, cool. If we followed that very traditional method of doing this stuff, then we can go in, take a $24,000, put it down towards this, because 20% of $100,000 is $20,000, but there's going to be some fees to the closing, right? Typically, those range between 3 and 5%, so mostly I am doing okay. But remember, in the previous video, I talked to you about how I've also rebuilt my empire, and I have all of this cash coming from all these different properties that I'm also able to leverage to be able to get even more money. Pretty darn awesome. This is the reason why people get so excited to get into real estate. And once you understand kind of how to structure these deals and how to be able to sort of balance them one and another, then you're able to really understand. The light bulb comes on and you say, why didn't I do this the whole time? I spent all of my time working as opposed to thinking and understanding how I can do this stuff. Well, that's why you are on this channel, and this is why money does truly matter, and understanding how all of that stuff works really does pay off, doesn't it? So now I'm able to go in, I take my $24,000, the bank borrows the rest, bada bim, bada bam, boom! I get property that I'm able to dispose of a property I didn't want, I'm able to roll it into another one, and now instead of collecting $100 for it, you know, after everything, maybe I can collect $300 for it. Pretty darn awesome. Now, you may not think that that's pretty cool, but I do, because every time that I can increase my monthly income, right? A lot of people focus on this whole concept of like, I just want the particular asset that I hold, like this marker, for example, to go up in price, chugga, 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 so that at some point I can sell it, collect the cash, and cool, then I can go in and spend it. Well, that's pretty awesome, but what happens when I sell this marker? It's the only marker that I have, and once it's gone, it's gone. What am I going to sell in order to make income and be able to live off of it? Nobody really talked about that in business school, at least when I was there. So this is where the recurring income comes in, also known as monthly income, also known as subscription if you're in the subscription business, also known as passive income, also known as freaking amazing. Okay, it's something that keeps on bringing money every single month to you so that you can living off of it. And so now if I have, you're like at 300 bucks, Nev, I'm not going to live off of $300 a month. Well, I agree with you, right? Nobody's going to get rich off of $300 a month. However, if I'm able to get $300 on this property and $500 on that property and $1,000 on this property, let me tell you, this puppy accumulates, and pretty quickly, if you follow some of the strategies that I've been teaching you for free, absolutely free in the last 3 videos, you're able to accumulate a nice chunk of change that can actually get you to be able to retire at any point in your life. And now you're sitting pretty, collecting some cash passively, having amazing assets that hold on to the value that if you need to, you can dispose of. But you're not going to dispose of it because you're not waiting for the price to go up so that you can just sell it, collect the cash, spend it like crazy, and then what? Have to go and get a job as a Walmart greeter? I don't think so. Now you can go in and actually relax, start thinking creatively, and start creating businesses or different opportunities of what you can do to start generating a life that you want. And if that's sitting on the beach and sipping Mai Tais, by all means, go for it. I'm not judging. I already said that multiple times. But what I find for a lot of people is that they have dreams, goals, aspirations of things that they want to do. They want to start a business. They want to be able to homeschool. They want to be able to travel the world. They want to start a nonprofit. They want to be able to teach. They want to be able to do all kinds of cool things. And once you have some fancy schmancy cash coming in, even though it's not all that fancy schmancy because it's 300 there, 500 there, and 1,000 over here, who cares? More income checks is better than one income check, right? Because if one dries up, I still have 20 coming in. But if I only have one income check and that dries up, that means I go on unemployment. Or maybe that's a good thing in this particular situation because some people are actually making more bank not working than working. But unfortunately, because they don't know how to do this stuff, they will always have to either depend on a job or the government to support them. If they were smart, they would actually spend a little bit of time and a little bit of money, and I'm talking a little bit of money, to be able to learn how to do this exactly, to be able to put some of the cash, buy some of the properties right now, and start actually doubling, tripling, 5x, 10x all of their income and start reducing their taxable income and become financially independent even while unemployed. And that is what Money Matters is and why you need to learn about it. If you're interested of how to do these particular things, while I don't necessarily teach 1031 because I already taught it, and it's pretty darn easy. Simply find a 1031 exchange provider, give them a call, they'll explain everything, they'll guide you through the whole process, no problems whatsoever. It's like the easiest thing you have ever done. Unlike trying to apply for unemployment through the websites that are broken and nobody answers the phone like ever. This is super easy, but what I will teach you is how to get into these properties to pay only a few $1,000 or $10,000 or something like that, whatever the prices are going, to be able to get highly profitable property for a super low amount of price, and then be able to follow things that you have learned just here, absolutely free, to be able to actually massively benefit and create a huge, amazing real estate empire. And on top of that, not only are you able to create this empire and be able to get in some passive cash that you can live off of, pay for your expenses like school and food and housing and all these different things that we have to pay on a daily basis, but now you actually provide homes, you provide offices because most of us are working from homes anyways. You provide jobs. You become somebody who is actually able to take care of people. And now we get to migrate you from a person that needs to the person that provides. And if we can get more people to be on the provider side than the need side, that is how I think we shift this entire economy around. Because right now we have so many people on the need side, and that's not fault of their own. I think fault comes in from the unexpected consequences that we have experienced due to the situation, because of the lack of education, because of the lack of the knowledge, because of the lack of the courage, and all kinds of other things. And I want to shift people from the need side to the provide side so that we really can help people out. And as a community, we can actually shift this whole thing around, that we're not depending on the government to do it for us, but that we are actually doing it for each other. That's really what this whole thing is about, and why I decided to make this whole free video here for you. If this is exciting for you, if this is speaking to you, if you're like, yo, no, he speaks the truth, my heart is pumping, I'm excited, go ahead and check out the link right here below, Real Estate on the Cheap Challenge, and it will actually blow your mind as far as the cost versus the value that you get, because all of this and so much more is inside that challenge, and it will help you to get into these properties and actually start getting on the provider side. Thank you so much for watching. If you are enjoying these videos, please make sure you share it with other people. I mean, what are you waiting for? Just click on that share button. It's that simple and easy. Do give me a thumbs up. I mean, it is pretty simple to do, and it does help for YouTube and other providers to actually push this video up to many more people. And, you know, if you are enjoying my sometimes quirky, sometimes silent, sometimes super crazy videos that I am providing, make sure you subscribe so that you get all of the other videos. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, stay forever money blessed. And do remember, you are only one deal away. I want you to be happy. Don't you want to be happy? I want to be happy.